news watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, 67 degrees at 8:40. I'm Mario Bosquez, and here's what's happening. Wall-to-wall Knicks fever in the city with Game 3 tonight along with a presidential attendee. The Knicks leading, all adding up to unprecedented security. Full coverage is coming up. No score yet. At the same time, some tickets are proving more valuable to some fans who are cashing in. A New Jersey woman in the hospital, cops say she fell down a garbage chute, allegedly under the influence. The vice presidential residence gets some new borders of the feathered kind. Doc meets world premiere at the Tribeca Festival. AccuWeather clear, comfy, low 61 in the city, 50s in the suburbs overnight. Of course, Knicks fever in the city, Yankees in Cleveland. News USM 841 is get you where you need to go. Here's Kelly Dillon.
Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. A big backup now at the inbound George on the upper deck midspan. A crash involving two tractor trailers. That takes out the two left lanes and already building up to at least a half-hour backup. Lower deck, definitely head there instead. And if you are heading outbound the upper deck span, it's getting quite busy with rubbernecking. So again, lower level is much better. Luckily, the Lincoln and the Holland both are quiet. Head to either instead. Looks like a new accident on the outbound Williamsburg Bridge on the outer roadway right around midspan. This accident has all lanes blocked on the outer roadway. The inner roadway open, but of course all backed up. So if you can, go for the Manhattan Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge getting very busy again in both directions right now. The BQE in Brooklyn still at a standstill each way at Atlantic Ave. In the Bronx, the northbound Deegan, 138th Street. Construction knocks out a lane, already getting quite crowded there. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Luckily in Nassau County now, we're quiet on the LIE, and then no trouble to report on both the northern and southern state parkways. Kelly Dillon, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM.
Game 3 tonight, city awash in blue and orange, and security as well. With the president watching the game, some fans, however, prefer to make big bank on Knicks fever.
Cashing in on your Knicks season tickets is what some fans like John Cooper are doing.
Over $7,000 each. So being able to get, 4 or 5 times the price of the ticket.
His pair of tickets in the 100 section sold for a pretty penny.
Closer to 25, and I still have game 4. The Knicks are up 3-0. People are going to go into their 401ks or break open their piggy bank. The tickets won't go without someone picking them up.
But now he's on the fence. Does he sell the next round of tickets or go in person to cheer on the Knicks courtside?
It's almost going to be the sky's the limit.
Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
While some fans prefer to make money on the tickets, there are plenty of fans shopping around for Knicks gear.
The line for Knicks merch at New York or Nowhere is so long, fans are even able to buy it while waiting, like Lean.
Feels nice. I mean, I'm always getting like Knicks merch since I was young, but this is nice because I've always wanted a shirt from over here.
Fans can get finals merch saying the finals are nowhere at the Lafayette Street store that has fans waiting down the block. Some coming from afar, like Sophie from Montreal wearing her Knicks jersey.
Very cool. The city is very Knicks.
So where are you going to watch the game now?
Maybe in a bar or something like that, or I don't know.
That's what fans are left figuring out next. Christy Kalinkian, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Nolita.
Mayor Mamdani got his ticket to tonight's Knicks game.
I bought my tickets for nearly $1,000 from Madison Square Garden. I'll be going to tonight's Game 3, and I'll be standing for the duration of the game.
He was asked but did not clarify when he purchased it or who reached out to whom. Tickets went on sale yesterday in batches for people registered in the Fan First program or Artis cardholders. But they were grabbed up quickly and put on the resale market for thousands of dollars. The Knicks' Josh Hart says he feels for fans getting priced out of the games. The alternative, watch parties around town. Julia Papa, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
At the same time, security being described as TSA style at MSG. along with no watch parties outside Madison Square Garden due to the president being there. Access to the area around MSG closed to anyone without a ticket, train tickets, or other reasons to be there. NYPD Commissioner Tisch said in a news briefing this morning there's word service. Penn Station, Amtrak, Subway should not be affected, however, but anybody entering that secure area around MSG will be subject to security screening by the NYPD and Secret Service. Now, there are some watch parties, including one at Bryant Park, which is free. Max capacity there, 5,000. 10-10 wins, closely following all these developments, along with traffic and transit on the ones on the job to get you through it all. Wins News Time 8:45. In addition to the area deluged with blue and orange, extra emphasis on the blue, with a super increased police presence for tonight's game and increased urgency following multiple stabbings at Penn Station. When police say a subject stabbed 6 people, the alleged perpetrator taken into custody. Police Commissioner Tisch.
There will actually be more cops in and around the Penn Station area because the NYPD is doing such a large deployment to the Garden, both above ground and below ground.
From a press conference today. A Brooklyn man has been found guilty of manslaughter as a hate crime in connection with the murder of O'Shea Sibley, Dmitry Popov, 20, convicted following a 3-week trial in Brooklyn Supreme Court. The stabbing happening outside a gas station on 2023, with Popov accused of shouting racist, homophobic slurs at Sibley and friends before the stabbing attack. Sentencing June 30th. New Jersey police allege a woman was drunk and high when she fell 10 stories down a trash chute Sunday, surviving the fall, but hospitalized with significant injuries. Hackensack Fire Chief Keith Rosaza with more.
Firefighters had to breach a portion of that trash chute. There was a large accumulation of trash inside that trash chute that had to be removed in order to get the person out.
Maciel Gutierrez lives in the building.
It wasn't Spanish, it wasn't English, it wasn't none of that. Like, it was just, that scream was intense. I was so scared. I felt like she was there. Like, I felt like I could just grab her, but no, she was like in between the 4th and the 3rd floor.
The woman, 25, reportedly climbed onto the 14th floor garbage chute at the building around Main Street yesterday afternoon, say investigators. New Jersey's governor says she was finally allowed into the troubled Delaney ICE facility in Newark today. However, Governor Sherrill said she was given limited access to the detainees. She had been denied access at all for weeks, today saying she was not permitted to talk with detainees or talk about their conditions, which is sparking concern and protests outside the facility. We have reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for a response. And in a statement, Governor Sherrill said in part, they deserve to be heard and the public deserves answers. A Long Island man finds his fate after pleading guilty to attempted murder outside a Popular casino.
The crime shocked those who come to Jake's 58 Casino. A man was shot twice as he was walking into the building. The Suffolk County DA says the man nearly died after one of the bullets entered his chest, striking multiple organs. 26-year-old Nashawn Legros pleaded guilty to the crime, and a judge sentenced him to 10 years in prison. Doctors say one of the bullets had to remain in the victim. Sophia Hall, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
A federal judge has blocked the president's $100,000 H-1B visa fee. Judge Leo Sorokin said the visa payment policy violated the Federal Administrative Procedure Act and the Constitution. There are reports J.D. Vance has made an addition to the vice president's official residence of a more, well, shall we say, feathered nature.
The U.S. Naval Observatory now has a chicken coop and a dozen baby chicks. The coop's designed to look like the Victorian residence itself, with a round turret and faux slate roof. It was donated by Carolina Coops, a North Carolina firm that's gained a social media following for its stylish coops. VPs have lived on the observatory grounds for nearly 50 years, and some families have left their imprint. The Bidens added a heritage garden, the Pences beehives. The Quails added a heated swimming pool. Sagar Megani, Washington.
Doc Meets World having a world premiere at the Tribeca Festival. We'll tell you about it, but first, News Time 851 is get you where you need to go with Kelly Dillon.
We've got a big backup at the inbound George tonight. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Inbound George, upper deck midspan, 2 tractor trailers involved in a crash. 2 left lanes out, about a 25-minute backup. Head to the lower deck instead. Heading outbound to upper deck, rubbernecking as well. So if you can, the Lincoln or the Holland, much better. The outbound Williamsburg outer roadway is shut down right now with a bad crash midspan. Inner roadway is open, but all backed up. So if you can, the Manhattan Bridge is going to be better, although the outbound Brooklyn Bridge, an option, but that is now at a standstill and picking up a bit both ways inside the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. The northbound Deegan at 138th Street in the Bronx getting slow now as overnight construction work here, knocking out at least a lane. Of course, Knicks Game 3 at Madison Square Garden tonight, and we've got 7th Avenue shut down between 42nd and 29th Streets, and then we've got 8th Avenue also shut down in the 30s right now. Plus, there's going to be a lot of extra volume, of course, around Penn Station, busier than normal at Penn Station, and we've got some access restrictions right now. 7th Avenue at 33rd and 34th Streets. Those entrance and exits to Penn Station will be unavailable for the duration of the game tonight. Kelly Dillon, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
Let's get a check of the AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Brian Thompson.
It's going to be mainly clear for tonight and pretty comfortable with a low of 61 in the city. Most suburbs, though, into the 50s into early tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is going to be a somewhat warmer day with a good deal of sunshine once again. Maybe a few afternoon clouds mixed in, but that's about it. High tomorrow, 82. Partly to mostly cloudy, a low of 67 tomorrow night. The humidity will rise into Wednesday with clouds and limited sun. We'll have a few showers moving through, even a thunderstorm, and any downpour could cause some street flooding Wednesday, a high close to 80. With Thursday looking a little sunnier, it does look like a hotter day. It's going to be humid with a heavy gusty thunderstorm around in the afternoon. High Thursday, 92, and it stays hot and humid Friday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Doc Meets World having a world premiere at the Tribeca Festival. The stars of Boy Meets World are in town for this new documentary 30 years after Boy Meets World. The actor who plays Sean on Boy Meets World, well, he tells us.
At the end of Girl Meets World, Sean was a father and adopting Sabrina Carpenter. So she's a superstar, so he's doing well.
Ryder Strong says there's another screening this Wednesday. Now, Bloomberg Money Watch.
Sam Bankman-Fried sentenced to 25 years in prison 2 years ago, convicted of orchestrating a massive fraud at his digital currency exchange FTX, costing lenders, investors, and customers $10 billion, has formally applied for a pardon from President Trump. Trump has already granted clemency to dozens of convicted white-collar criminals. On Wall Street, stocks end the day mostly higher, making back a lot of Friday's losses with big gains in chipmaker stocks leading the way. The Dow, though, down 81 points today. The tech-heavy NASDAQ up 220. The S&P added 22. I'm Tom Busby. Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
1010 wins. I listen every morning on my way to work.
Always clear and accurate.
I love that I get so much news in such a short period of time.
1010 wins.
At 92.3 FM.
WINS FM and HD1 New York.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
More people get their news from 1010 Wins and from any other radio station in the nation. John Davis, service aide. Tanya Mercado, editor's desk. I'm Mario Bosquez.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM, New York.
67 degrees, mostly clear at 9 o'clock. Good evening, I'm Lane Bajardi. Here's what's happening. Knicks fans with tickets to tonight's Game 3 stood on long lines for added security as the president headed to the Garden tonight. Watch parties underway throughout the area, from Bryant Park in Midtown to Heckscher Park on Long Island. Every borough has one. Fans pouring money into fresh new Knicks merch. 41-year-old man shot dead on a BX-36 bus in Parkchester this afternoon. As another round of military strikes threaten to plunge the Middle East back into full-scale war, things may be quieting down again between Israel and Iran. And a major Central Park watch party announced for the World Cup final in the Meadowlands. Sports. In addition to the Knicks, of course, we have the Yankees in Cleveland. AccuWeather says mostly clear and comfortable tonight. Low 61 in the city, 50s in the suburbs. Sunshine, patchy clouds tomorrow, high 82. Wins News Time 9:01. Let's get you where you need to go. Here's Kelly Dillon.
Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. We got good news on the inbound George upper deck now. Mid-span, that tractor trailer crash has been cleared away pretty quickly. So delays slowly easing out both ways on the upper deck spans. In the meantime, lower decks are a bit better. Quiet at both the Lincoln and Holland. The outbound Williamsburg on the outer roadway, a bad crash. Has all lanes shut down mid-span. It's at a complete standstill, the inner roadway. So if you can avoid that, the Manhattan Bridge is better. And also, we are starting to pick up both directions along the Brooklyn Bridge. In Midtown, we're okay on both the West Side Highway and the FDR. Of course, Knicks Game 3 at Madison Square Garden, 7th Avenue shut down between 42nd and 29th Streets. And then 8th Ave also closed through the 30s and 40s right now. In Brooklyn, we are busy on the BQE, bumper to bumper each way, still at Atlantic Ave tonight. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. Luckily, through Nassau, not too much going on. No construction on the LIE, so that's quiet, and we're moving well on the northern and southern states. Kelly Dillon, 1010 wins at 92.3 FM.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals underway tonight at the Garden. The Knicks have a chance to go 3 up on the Spurs. Head coach Mike Brown before the game as they go for a 14th win in a row tonight.
With this group being a veteran group and being as composed as they are, you know that they're going to be present. And that's the biggest thing, whether you're on a winning streak or a losing streak.
If you see fighter jets over the skies within 10 miles of the Garden, don't be alarmed. That's connected to NORAD's watch over President Trump's visit. NORAD Public Affairs Officer Captain Christopher Dubé says the airspace is shut down to the kinds of small planes and helicopters we're used to seeing all the time. Pilots must obey the restricted zone.
The consequence to pilots is revocation of their license potentially, fines potentially. So there can be quite serious consequences for the pilots involved.
And he says don't be alarmed by the military flights, just for safety. Right now as it stands, no threat other than regular flights ignoring the restricted zone. So the president in attendance, he's in a box seat. He's not down courtside. He's up there with James Dolan, the Knicks owner. It may be much harder to find the mayor in the crowd.
I bought my tickets for nearly $1,000 from Madison Square Garden. I'll be going to tonight's Game 3, and I'll be standing for the duration of the game.
Look up. There he is, up on the Chase Bridge. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere, standing around. Standing room only. So many rich people looking to be seen at this game, regardless of their true level of Knicks fandom. Some season ticket holders cashed in big, reselling their seats.
Not all Knicks season ticket holders will be going to Madison Square Garden to cheer on the Knicks courtside. For some fans, like John Cooper, they're putting their tickets up for sale.
The financial gain is just too enticing to turn away.
And for Cooper, he's taking his profits and spending it well.
Closer to 25. So mostly help my daughter out. She has some bills, provide to some charities. Of course, I'm going to spoil myself a little bit. Purchase some Yankee tickets down in the Legends.
And now he's left with a very tough choice. Does he go to the next Knicks home game or sell those tickets too? He says it'll be a day of game time decision. Mary Lynn Buckley, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Other fans say there's no way they can pay for Knicks tickets at these prices, but they can afford some new merch. Proudly proclaiming for them, it's New York or nowhere.
Battery-powered fans and water bottles in hand, those waiting outside of New York or nowhere on Lafayette Street for the blue and orange stuff are prepared.
I've waited an hour just to be in there for what, 10 minutes?
Was it worth it?
Yes, it was totally worth it.
Kathy just moved to New York from, of all places, Texas, but she swears she's not a Spurs fan. She got a Knicks puzzle, keychain, and basketball plushie. Lean was able to get a shirt while waiting in line to speed things up.
Last time they went to the finals, I wasn't even born, so I've always been a Knicks fan. It's amazing, so very excited. I have no words.
Now all these fans need to do is figure out where they're watching the game. Christy Kalishian, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Nolita.
Deadly shooting on a New York City bus this afternoon. Police say a man shot on a BX-36 in Parkchester around 2:30, East Tremont Avenue and White Plains Road. What led up to it was unclear, but the suspect fled. Police say a 41-year-old man was shot in the stomach, rushed to Jacoby, where he was pronounced dead. The Trump administration again threatening a massive surge of federal immigration agents into New York. Trump orders our Tom Homan, appearing on Fox News, that he has warned Governor Hochul a surge would follow her signing a bill curbing DHS operations and barring ICE from wearing masks here.
You're going to see more ICE agents you ever seen in New York City, and it's coming. I just reviewed an operational plan. I'm not going to tell you exactly when it's going to happen, but it's coming.
Mayor Mamdani reacts to Homan's latest threats.
We have heard time and again threats of increases in immigration enforcement across our city. I want to be very clear about the fact that I believe that ICE raids are cruel, they are inhumane, they do nothing to serve in the interests of public safety.
Homan's threats come after ICE and Border Patrol agents surged into the Twin Cities, leading to many arrests, detentions, releases of people caught up in raids who were legally in the U.S., outrage following the deaths as well of 2 people protesting the raids. Governor Mikey Sherrill says she was finally allowed into Delaney Hall, the ICE detention center in Newark, but was given limited access to detainees. She calls that unacceptable. Things are quieting down again between Israel and Iran as another round of military strikes again threatened to plunge the Middle East back into full-scale war.
They were the first attack since the U.S. struck a ceasefire deal with Iran 2 months ago, after President Trump wrote on social media the shooting must stop.